thank you very much. I'm here because this is an anniversary, and what we're celebrating is what we, the people, this community, has brought not only to the Monterey Bay area, but to the state of California, to the nation, and to the world. This was a bottoms-up political effort. National Marine Sanctuaries were just an idea in federal law that could be created if a community wanted to create it. And we seized that opportunity when we were forced with the decision of whether we wanted to sell the resources out here for oil exploration or whether we wanted to design a research entity called a National Marine Sanctuary where we could indeed preserve and protect and learn about what that ocean has to offer. And we chose, as a society here, as a group of people, that we would pursue that route, and in that we would be able to design a sanctuary that would prohibit offshore oil and gas leasing. And that is why we're here to thank you, the people, for helping us who are in elective office to do that. I also want to take this anniversary because as we reflect on what we've created, not only the world's largest marine sanctuary, and there's protection zones in Australia that are larger, but as far as a federal United States program, this is the largest sanctuary in the program. It is one of the most diverse in the sense of what it has to preserve out there. History and shipwrecks, the Grand Canyon of the ocean on the Pacific coast, more flora and fauna than found anywhere else in any ocean in the world. An opportunity for our marine research centers around the bay to expand and give new job creations. Industry that will come in here, I think, in the research mode. I think biomedicine is going to reach out to the ocean to find solutions to illnesses on land for enzymes and so on that may be found from organisms in the ocean offshore. So we have recreated essentially a new frontier, as I used to call it, it's the Kennedy Space Center of the ocean. With this area, the drop-off of how we're going to access into the ocean and use the ocean to live in a sound management structure so that we can learn as the world gets bigger and more complicated how we live compatibly with the environment rather than trying to conquer the environment. And why I want to just say all this to you is this last week in Congress, the House Resources Committee, which I sit on, did an awful thing. There's a new attitude in Congress that says we only want to make money off the environment. And if we can take the public resources and find a way to get that money, not to give back and to invest in creating more parks and more recreation, but we're going to just take that money from the selling of the environmental resources and put that in what they call a lockbox so that it can't be spent, and that will help balance the federal budget. That will help cut the deficit. And that's exactly what the actions of the Resource Committee was this week in a partisan vote. And really what it did, when you're going to see this bill on the floor and it's going to be debated like mad, and unfortunately the votes are to pass it, hopefully the Senate won't take the same action. But if you look at that bill carefully, what we did in Congress this week, what the conservative leadership did, was to sell the forest. They sold the mountains to the ski resorts. Every ski resort that is on federal land now has the option to buy that land without competitive bidding. They then sold the rivers to the power companies. They sold the Arctic National Refuge to the oil companies to develop the oil out there. And the billions of dollars that are going to be gotten from that sale can't be used for any environmental purposes. They turned around and gave mining companies easier access to federal lands for mining purposes at less cost. It went on even to allow the Indian lands in this country to be opened up for gambling. And so what you're seeing is a wholesale sale of the environment. And fortunately, what we've done here is we've done an ounce of prevention. We did that 3 years ago, and we're celebrating that today. The battle isn't over, but we've got to find ways in which we can develop long-range planning ability to protect land so that they won't all be consumed, won't all be cut down, won't all be dug up, won't all be commercialized, because we want the generations of the children that are here today, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, to be able to enjoy the resources in this coastline that we have been fortunate to have. I want to thank you for helping begin the ability to do that. And I want to encourage you to participate in the process so that it can't be taken away from you. And that process, more than anything else, is the cheapest process in America. It's called registering to vote, and on election day, it's voting. Those two things can make a big, big difference. 1996 is an election year. You need to protect what we've created here today, and we can do that through the political process. Thank you for making that political process. Bring it to us, and hopefully we'll work together to preserve it for our children. Thank you very much.